Um, and can you have you spent any time on the site yet?
I have. I looked at it, but the I didn't find a lot for sixth grade. A lot of the standard. Well, I didn't see any standards for sixth.
Right.
And anything that I was looking for. Um, and then it said it would say select standard, but there were no standards in there. So
Okay. Yeah, and that's the company is really just starting to add content for grades beyond eighth grade, so that will grow over time. But what I'd really love to do is to just for me to be quiet and for you to share with me your experience using the site right now. Like, pretend that you have a magic wand. You can change anything you want about anything that you're looking at, and tell me what you like or don't like, or what's confusing or doesn't make sense to you. Is that cool?
that's fine.
Okay.
The the site itself, I think, is pretty easy as far as navigating. Um, the I'm not here. Let me see. Like when I click on this, the average person would click, and it's like, okay, well, there's nothing happening.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that this would make much sense to a user,
Right.
and then they push to show more, but I'm not sure that most people would think that arrow is more of an expand
Right.
arrow, making the screen larger versus actually entering to where, the content. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Um, I think the pictures themselves are pretty friendly, kid friendly. Um, I'm not sure how much uh, flexibility is here as far as them being able to manipulate this versus just look at it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if they even want that to be an option.
Right.
But when you talk about like the coordinate planes, just allowing them to be able to see, excuse me, um, these angles, what could happen if we move maybe this line versus the next line.
Right.
I mean, depending on the concept, and I'm not sure if that's, that thought is even going to be included in there, or if it's just going to be just as you would see it on the test, so forth.
I gotcha.
Um, I think this is good because this keeps, with the this gives you tracking and lets you know exactly where you are, and where you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning. So I think this part is good. You can go back into um, but you could go back into these sections. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I thought you could go back into these. So maybe the ability to just go back maybe one step to geometry versus having to go
Hmm.
all the way back to the dashboard or all the way back to curriculum
Right.
would be helpful.
Gotcha.
um, uh, I mean, yes, I think it's pretty user. I'm sorry. I think it's pretty user friendly
Okay.
um, in that sense. Um, I'm not sure. Trying to move this out of the way. Um, so for me, I mean, as from the teacher's point of view,
Hmm.
um, to be able to assign this to, will it be an option to assign it to just particular students, or okay, it is right here. So I can assign it to selected students versus a full classroom,
Right.
which is helpful. Um, is there a tiering option. So, for example, say uh, I have a classroom of 30 kids,
Right.
and 5 kids are tier 2, and 10 kids are tier 1, and then the rest are tier 3. Is
Mm-hmm.
there is there an ability where I can do like sub pops versus full group or just individual students, or will I have to actually put those individual students in?
Um, I, I believe you're describing like a group function, right? Where you can say that these three students are part of this group, and you want to assign lessons to them based on the group.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I believe the functionality is in here to do that. I think we'd have to back out and go to the classrooms, I believe, to do that. But is there anything on this page here that is kind of, unclear to you or doesn't make sense to you?
Um, See, the the way the set out, I mean, the way that it's set up, it makes sense. Um, but by it not having much content in it,
Right.
it's kind of hard to say. Understand what I'm saying? So the
Sure.
page setup
Yeah.
is fine. I understand how you assign and etc.
Right.
Actually, not seeing the content and not seeing what's there.
Right. It's hard to evaluate it without your content. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I gotcha. Okay. Could you go to on the left side to classrooms? Yeah, the classrooms tab.
Okay.
And yeah,
You would add a classroom.
yeah. Does this make sense to you? Is there anything here that's unclear?
Um, no, it's simple.
Okay.
Now the code, is this the code that I would give the student?
That's right. Yeah, you would send that code to your students.
Okay. And then do they will they log in, or will I have to add each individual student?
Right now, I believe I will confirm this, but I believe that we would on our end need to add your students, and then you would be able to message them with that code in order to log in. But going forward, I think the plan is to make it so that you can add your own students.
Okay. It would be um, I don't know. I guess depending on the yeah, I have to think. I think as a sixth grade math teacher, but I also think tech because I have a lot of background in tech. I think that way, but I try to make it simplified in my mind on the teacher level.
Right.
And a lot of teachers like to be able to add and subtract students because we get kids in, out all throughout the year.
Hmm.
Um, so having that ability to be able to add and subtract at any given time of the year
Hmm.
is helpful.
Okay.
It's also helpful when the kid can actually kind of sign up themselves and um, just join that particular group.
Hmm.
Sometimes that saves the teacher that extra moment of I didn't have time to input you, but you don't have to wait until I input you. You can sign up for an account yourself using
Right.
this standard information.
Gotcha.
Um,
That makes sense.
so that kind of stuff helps.
Okay. Now, can you go back for a moment to the curriculum tab?
Okay.
Thank you. When you look at the search here at the top, search keywords and standards, select the standard, advanced search. Anything about that that you would improve that's unclear or confusing to you?
Um, no, because my thought here is if I click select standard, then the standards would be there and I can select correct or I can, yeah, so math topics and then the grade. Yeah, that's, so then when I do the advanced search, now why would these two be important?
Mm, I suppose if there's a publisher that you prefer, or you're looking for things that are, more recent, you could use those. But do you think that they're not, that's not something you would usually use?
Um, I wouldn't unless there's like say Ellie that always puts something in here or the content is not coming or is the content coming from other teachers?
Yes, ultimately there is a lesson builder that's going to be added here, so you can view content created by other teachers. Yep. Or you could create it yourself and then make it available to other teachers, and we have a way to get for you to be paid or for the school to be paid for that effort.
Okay. Well, in that case, yes, it makes sense because if there's something by Kelly that I like, or
Right.
I like the way she designs her lessons, yeah,
Okay.
it would make sense to have it there.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Could you go back? You said something earlier. If you scroll down a little bit, you said something earlier about how you select those lessons when you mouse over them. What was your point there? Was it that you expected a certain behavior, but it didn't act that way?
because initially when you go to the site and you see that, it's like, okay, do I like it or not? I get the heart.
Yeah.
Typically, this sign you see when you're expanding the page to make it a full page.
Uh-huh.
So the average person may not go and scroll over it. They'll try to click here first
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
before realizing that this is the actual button to click to get in.
I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So when we just started chatting about 10 minutes ago, you already had this page open. Had you spent any time on the site before we started having a conversation?
Um, I did when Ellen originally sent me, and I signed up.
Okay.
And then I hadn't spent any extensive time in it
Okay.
because, as you know, who we are
Yeah.
and what we do.
Yeah.
So I looked at it, and then came back in, and then again tonight I just pulled it up to see. I was like, okay, well, there's nothing added, and I said, okay, well, maybe that's the plan, not to add anything just yet. So,
Right. Right.
um,
If you can recall when you first logged in, when Ellen sent you the information to log in, your first experience just logging in, do you recall what that was? Was it, oh, yay, I know what I'm doing, this is clear? Or was it, where am I? What am I doing? What is this about?
no, I think it was simple. I don't remember having like a hard time.
Okay.
Um, the part that I did have a hard time with, I didn't see an option, and that was if you forget your password, you can change your password, but if you forget your username,
Uh-huh.
it's not an
Gotcha.
option for that.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Good feedback. This is all great feedback, by the way. Thank you very much for doing this.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there anything else about the interface that you think is lacking that, could be either improved, made better so that it's easier to use, or just made better so it's more delightful for you, more enjoyable for you?
The only thing when I look at the curriculum, I think if it was like categorized maybe,
Uh-huh.
um, somehow on that dashboard, or maybe don't know, maybe if it was a page that had dashboard and my dashboard, maybe where teachers can actually have like their favorites or their things where they can instantly get to them,
Yeah,
um, versus having to go through everything. Or
I gotcha.
because I see there's a you have the heart for the favorites, but I don't see where the favorites would be.
Right. Yeah, there's my collection on the left-hand side, but it sounds like
Okay,
that's not clear to you that they would go there.
right. So
Um,
maybe it should say my favorites versus my collection. I don't know.
right, right.
But then you have favorites,
Yeah,
and
I'll
then what are the
clarify.
assets?
I'm going to clarify what the distinction there because I'm not sure. So I'll clarify. Um,
Okay.
but But I want to thank you very much, for taking time and you committed to 15 minutes and we're going over that. So I want to be respectful of your time. But we're going to send you a gift certificate for Starbucks as a thank you. And would it be okay if we circled back with you in a few weeks and just, followed up on some of these issues?
That's fine.
Okay. And please let me know, how do you pronounce your first name?
Tajuana.
Tawana. Okay, that's what I thought. Tawana, thank you very much for your time,
Thank
and
you.
we'll be in touch with you in the next few weeks.
Okay. All
Okay, thanks again.
right. Thank you.
Take care.